The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com.
The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam, Bo Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Little early with it. Anxious to get this thing going. We don't have a ton of time with you tonight, but boy, have we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's come right off the top. Total Destruction had their first event of the year over there at Morris. Ben joining us here in studio. Hopefully you enjoyed your outing over there. Dan Bolton nearly coming away with a double down. He won with the truck division, and then
the V8 class. He
ended up second.
But man, he was.
You said he had all four. The 4-barrel carburetor.
Oh, he'd go by me. The track was pretty dry. I don't like really putting a lot of water on a track because some guys like putting a show on down there anyway. And Dan, I told him when he pulled on a track, I'm like, dude, I says it's dry, it's fast. He goes, good. He goes, I want to show everybody what this thing will do, And the one shot he went by me when he hit the back of Brad Davis's car. He got probably 30 feet from him, and all you heard was that big block, the 4 barrels open right up on it.
That's awesome.
And I was like, yes.
Well, he
had a blast. I mean, he had some bad luck with his A-arm again and a rear tire, but
Chris with a crash course. Can I put you in?
if he didn't lose that, then I really think he would have done them back to back. I mean, when he jumped in that truck with Jeremy was. I about fell over the wall watching Jeremy in the passenger seat, and he was. It came down to Jeremy and him and Eric Eberlein, and
can you hear me?
And they just love going nose to nose, meeting in the middle, like Jeremy's banner says. We'll meet you in the middle somewhere, sometime, or something like that. Yeah. I think it says. I'm not gonna kill it too much, but them guys love putting on a great show with the trucks. They enjoy the trucks. I'm glad we can do the trucks for them, and it was a decent turnout for the trucks. So
when we were, I don't know, I think we were coming back at some point, and somebody put up a video from the V8s,
yeah.
And I watched it, and it was awesome. But like 4 minutes, I didn't even realize it. I just watched it. And I guess hey, that's pretty quick. But then Josh was like, "Oh my God, that was only like 4 minutes or something." And then today Dan had a picture. It must be he runs a TAC, and it was almost $7,000. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
He's not too bad, huh?
Yeah. And he's not really running low gear either.
No,
I don't think he has real low gear.
You know who I'd love to have a tack on? Steve Blankenship.
Cool.
I mean, you were talking about how that thing was singing when it went by you.
Yeah.
With Bolton's car. How about the trucks? The trucks was pretty good.
Trucks were very good. That's I just telling Brian the trucks. I mean, Gully. I mean, actually. I forgot to say I wanted to make sure I said it because I told Gully when they took a shot and he went back to back with, I can't remember who it was now, but they went back to back, and I thought Gully was coming right out the back window of the extended cab. He broke the seat right off, and I'm looking at him, and he's got that look on him, he's got his sunglasses on, but you could tell I'm like, damn, that hurt. And Gully's like, I'm like this, are you all right? And he's like, he's reaching up for the wires, holding on to the other steering wheel. He's got over there mounted on the other side, and they just have a ton of fun. And them guys come, Jeremy and Eric and all them guys usually in the trucks. They come just to put on a hell of a show for the crowd, and
they do every bit of that.
I got to give them props and kudos for it. I really appreciate them doing that, and because they do it every time.
Oh yeah.
And when it comes down to the end. They just wanted to start one more time so they can back as far apart as they can, and then, like I said, meet in the middle, nose to nose, or back to back, whichever way it's facing, and they're just they have a great time. And
that's, at 7,000 RPM.
Well, he had a Magnum. He had the Magnum in the truck, and that was like
screaming
the third or fourth time the truck ran. And Eberlein had a Durango, and when he pulled, I told him, like, dude, them things are tough. And when he pulled off track, he goes, "Find me more Durangos." And it was definitely. I was very happy with the show, and I think it went very well in all aspects. And
Good,
cool.
So,
We had a great time out in Utah. Mark Benjamin coming away now 4 for 4 in Father's Day shows over there at
the 86 Chevy or something.
Well, I got a little bit of that story out of him today. Exactly. Didn't put a number on it when he pulled in.
Yeah.
And they did some rule changes over there at Bath. They've been doing this Father's Day show for a little while now, and in his initial car, which we've documented this conversation. That bit of a cheat fest, run what you brung, essentially.
Yep.
They dialed down the rules. They got things in check, and Mark came prepared. He had a backup car with no number on it, and he pulled it off. The thing had already passed inspection. He put the 89 on it, and everybody got twisted.
Oh, yeah.
And long story short, I think they only had 3 cars, but Mark coming away with a win gives him 4, and he's won every which way. Now over there, you want to run cheated, you brought something cheated. You want to run stock, you went ahead and ran with the stock guys. Entertaining show down there. Canasrega had a show. We had over the weekend Don Santel picking up a win in Kentucky. I mean, Derby season is upon us in full force, and we got to enjoy first person an outstanding outing over there in Tooele. That Tooele is Tooele, Utah, for Kings of Destruction. What a great time we had. Clay Stuart joining us on the hotline, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and I've been looking forward to getting a chance to talk to you. What a great time we had out there in Utah, man.
Thanks for having me on, and we thank you guys for coming out and showing you a little Utah-style derby, I guess.
Well, you had people all over the country tuning in to check that out, and you won a lot of fans. And I tell you, Steve Blankenship with his barrel roll,
his corkscrew roll.
He's been blowing up like crazy. We got a bunch of guys out here in New York that are new Utah fans that totally identify with the way you guys drive out there. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's the second time in Utah I've seen a full barrel roll. A couple years ago in Heber City, Spencer Jacobson did the exact same thing. Did a full roll, landed on his wheels. They came out and checked it out, and boom, let him keep going. It was pretty cool.
Well, the thing with Steve is they wanted to throw a red flag, but he never gave him a chance.
No, he stayed in the throttle. I seen that.
Yeah.
Once he grabbed hold of the gear, man, he was off and running again. And we learned a couple things with the strategy out there, Clay, and you can correct us if we're wrong. The goal there is to keep driving in circles until you're as far away from everybody as possible, and then drive into them at as close to 60 as your car will reach. Is that pretty much the safe way of explaining it?
Yeah, everybody, I seen somebody post it was more like a enduro track, but if you open your passenger doors up in Utah, you've got to look out because somebody's coming, and they're coming full steam.
Good.
They're not letting off the throttle at all. So
real good.
I watched that because them ones hurt bad.
Real good comparison is like Shark Week. I mean, literally.
Shark Week,
literally. Like Chris was saying, it's like sharks circling.
Yeah.
Shark Week. When they're at that one island, they go after all the seals and they hit them at like 60 mile an hour, 15 foot in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's like holy shit. But you know, like Brian said, I mean, years and years and years ago, I got Utah DVDs and we watched him, and that was the first thing I said. I'm like, man, if he ends up in a corner, he's a shit out of luck because they're gonna send him.
Yeah.
And that's Utah style, like you said, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool, thank you.
You did an awesome job with an 03 and newer. I mean, that's for sure with the old iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I was
actually
a
live
little
right now.
bit worried about it. That's why I watched the podcast, and Josh says that I was taking it a little bit easy in the heat because
What are you trying to do?
first Vic I've ever built, so I didn't know what to expect. So
Did you run the stock?
You ran a stock aluminum cradle, or could you change it?
no, I had a steel bolt-in conversion.
Oh, okay.
I
All
wasn't
right.
sure.
Awesome.
When we went out and we're looking at cars, and just as we were walking off the track, you were driving on the car on the track from inspection. So we didn't get a chance to come over and look at it. And
dude.
yeah, guys.
If you could run steel bolt-in cradles out there, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it
no
was
wonder.
one of those. The guy in Washington, Johnson bolt-in cradles.
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen it. It worked out pretty slick. I mean, it was much easier than running the aluminum one for sure.
That's why Bandol That's why Bandel picked him.
Oh, yeah.
He knew insider trading.
Yes.
Right there. He knew insider information.
He also picked Butch Johnson to win too.
Yes.
Yeah, Clay, we were talking about it, the guys in the feature before, and both Sam Bandow and Troy Tagg called you out as the winner before you guys came on the track. There was two guys calling you out as the winners. So.
And I think Johnny called Clay for a win too. Johnny Gullo called
I
you
remember
too.
you saying something about him. But no, I mean, he still got to drive smart though.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, he drove smart, kept his nose clean, and basically still drove hard.
Oh yeah, he was sending it in the feature.
I think he was I think you were very shocked to see that SN Gondola still there at the end.
Yeah, Clay, take us through that, man. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it sure looked like the Cordoba was coming away with the win, but he was about 10 seconds late to his own party, and it cost him the win.
Yeah, I didn't know what exactly was going on there at the end because they came running out onto the track and they said that he timed out. He was like 10 or 12 seconds late or something like that. So
in your mind, did you think the Cordoba had won as well? Bronson Twitchell in there.
I wasn't sure because I thought I heard the announcer over the loudspeaker call him out, but I wasn't sure. So
right.
it was up in the air for sure.
So I mean, even sitting behind the steering wheel, you were flipping a coin.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Now on your shot clock out there, because we're not really familiar with that, is that like a reducing shot clock as the feature goes on, or is it so many seconds throughout the whole show, no matter what?
As far as the hit rule,
like you got a hit rule. You got 60 seconds to make a hit, but once they're down to 5 cars, that 60-second clock reduced to only 30 seconds, or is it 60 seconds throughout, or 2 minutes? Or
no,
whatever?
it was in the drivers' meeting. They voted on 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Yep.
Okay.
Was what the hit rule was. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, but
right.
all the drivers voted for 90 seconds.
Well, I just wonder because sometimes when it gets down to like the last 2 cars, they shorten it down to like half. You know what I mean? They cut it in half. So I didn't know if that was the case there.
And they use a computer timing system.
Right.
So
Yep.
every time you make a hit, they push a button and it brings you to the top of the list.
Right.
Is how it works.
Cool.
Well, that's an awesome idea. I mean, that's an awesome deal.
It was one thing that we actually didn't get a chance to in the midst of our pre-race show. It was one of the things that we were trying to get to, but we ended up getting sidetracked a bit. Was there's a pre-programmed thing where they've got a button, so it's essentially a lap counter with AMD. You know what I mean for like the modifieds.
Yeah.
So when they come by, it tells you who was last over the line. Basically, you hit the button and it puts you next. And if it goes 60 seconds between timestamps for you, that's how you know you're out.
Right.
There's no need for stopwatches, trackside, or anything.
I just can't believe there's not. I mean, you can leaf convert 80s and newer cars, and you can put a bolt-in cradle on 03 and newers. That's like a no-brainer. I'd be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There'd be like 2010, 2011s getting leaf converted and bolt-in cradled, and put a pointy on it and send it.
After the show, we were standing there talking, and I unfortunately can't remember the guy's name we were talking to, and he said that he bought his first Vic and he paid $150 for it.
Oh, I'd have a whole yard full of them.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd be planting flowers around.
and Chris is like, or Josh was like, man, they're paying way more than that in New York. So, I mean,
They're paying 3 times that for a frame.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah.
I think I paid $400 for that Vic I ran, complete.
I'd say you got your money out.
Yeah,
of it.
so at this point you're $9,600 ahead.
So, yeah, tough little cars. Surely a lot to learn with those cars, though.
Yeah.
Really?
Learning curve for sure.
Oh yeah.
It seemed like, I mean, all things considered, it seemed like the car held up pretty well. I mean,
Well, I think it's this is just my humble opinion, but I mean, if you're a good builder, I think even with your first one, it's going to be a good car, but you're still going to learn all the tricks as you go along.
would you agree with this, that you can tell generally what caliber driver you're... Oh, go ahead.
I actually, a new front clip and a new front bumper, and I'll run that car again.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Would you be willing...
It's A-arms forward, it's straight.
And I don't know if you can apply this to pretty much everywhere that we go, really, Brian. You can tell how skilled a driver is by how far in their passenger doors are pushed.
Yes, you can.
And his doors weren't pushed in that far.
No.
I mean, that's something that you kind of got to learn over there, and Clay hit on it. You can't give up that passenger side at all. And if you do, it's...
Well, we were noticing after the first heat, they told that, I don't know, I think it was a GM, and his
Cage's halfway pushed out the driver's side.
his driver's side was bowed out probably 3 foot.
Right.
I mean, and it was a well welded together, well built car, but it still pushed it out like 3 foot.
Remember Rick's Imperial?
Yeah.
From this
That
Moore
was a
show
year ago.
last year. I know, but that's another prime example of a great driver. But that passenger door got opened up, and man, he paid a price for it.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
So Clay, what's next for you, man?
Hot Rockin' 4th.
Nice.
Stock show. No team show for me.
No. What's the picture that you have on your Facebook wall with the three little ones that were letting everybody know who was in charge?
Well, the deal was I told him, I said I'd buy him a trampoline if I won King's Instruction. So, lo and behold, we were last night at 10 o'clock at night out to Walmart buying a trampoline. that was the first thing, because my little one, he was there at the Derby. The two girls weren't, and it wasn't good job, Dad, or hey, are you okay, Dad? It was, we going to get the trampoline now?
Awesome.
And you being the good dad went and got a trampoline. That's awesome.
At 10:30. Now, side note, how far did you have to go to find a trampoline? Because our experience with Utah, at 7:30, they lock everything up. I know. He drove the Vic through the front doors.
I actually was in Heber City because I had to return a trailer to TJ. So he let me borrow his 2-place, and we just swung into Walmart and picked it up.
So Heber City's got different rules than Tooele, apparently. 'Cause Tooele rolled up the sidewalks, and the watered grass, because everything's irrigated in the desert, that was put away too.
Yeah.
Where was TJ?
He wasn't running.
Not sure. Anybody, before we let you go, Clay, we got Don Long from Metal Mayhem coming up here in just a minute here. Anybody, Clay, that you wanted to give quick recognition to before we let you go?
I'd just like to thank my wife for not killing me for spending all the time in the shop building that Vic.
And
10,000 reasons not to. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's an extra $10,000 in the kitty. She's probably okay
sounds
with that
like
now.
sounds like it's probably closer to 95-25 because you got $75 out for a trampoline and $400 out for that Vic.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true. Still all right though.
That's about right.
But congratulations again on the win. We had an awesome time out there and appreciate you jumping out of the paint booth for a few minutes to come and hang out with us.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Clay. I appreciate it.
There goes.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
There goes Clay Stuart, winner, Kings of Destruction out there in Tooele, Utah. Why don't you guys take a quick look at this, and we will be right back with you. Whoops. Well, that didn't play out at all. Are you good enough to be recognized as a reckless warrior? Bo Lockwood Motorsports 2015 Demolition Derby schedule will now be combined into the Reckless Warrior Tour, designed to give rewards and recognition to drivers that support Bo Lockwood Motorsports. To the Keystone Nationals, which has moved to the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds June 27th. The Jefferson County Fair Championships follows, with the limited road cars back in the limelight as they chase a $3,000 payday in Brookville, with the Reckoning 2 following on August 1st at the Clarion County Fairgrounds in Clarion, Pennsylvania. The series finishes with the final encounter September 4th and 5th at the Stoneborough County Fair. In all, there is more than $75,000 in prize money available among the 6 shows and features some of the largest purses in the Keystone State. Drivers will earn points based on their feature appearances and heat and feature finishes, with bonuses awarded for passing inspection and getting a stick on the first try. The season will end with a points bank where Bo Lockwood Motorsports will crown the deadliest warrior. That driver will then have his selection of one of the 10 prizes from the Reckless Warrior partner. For more details on the 2015 Reckless Warriors Tour, visit their Facebook page and check out blmotorsports.net. You can hear all the noise going on in the background there as we get ready to bring Don Long into the program. We're getting that set up. There's Don. Can you hear us, Don?
How you doing?
We're doing just fine. Let me get that screen grab set up for you guys. Here we go. That should do all right. There's a good look at Don with a nice trophy behind him, man. I know you said all that water out there gave you a bit of a cold. How you feeling now?
I just went to the doctor and got some medicine because I got to go to work tomorrow.
But I bet you that 20 grand you brought home with you helped you feel a lot better, though.
Well, it did ease the pain some.
Well, Don, man, congratulations on the win out there in Metal Mayhem. Eric Blom coming in second, and we get third place finisher, Bobby Whitaker. Outstanding show, and as you joked, as long as you keep winning these high-level shows, everybody's going to keep remembering your name.
Yeah, that's true. It's my first big money show in this era. I won a lot in the '90s, but I think the highest paid was like $1,500.
Wow, that's a pretty good jump.
It's quite the jump for sure. I mean, how was your experience there? Given that this is obviously a landmark win for you. How was your experience out there front to back?
Well, I as soon as I read the rules, I had to go buy a wagon. I mean, as soon as I read them, I knew I wanted a wagon. I didn't care what kind. And as it went on, you kept hearing things, but I enjoyed it. I mean, top-notch group, good inspectors, just a few things I seen. Everybody I'm seeing, you have problems. There's no such thing as a perfect derby. I put it on for a long time. There's just no such thing. But as far as just the weather, it was basically sucked. Other than that, it was fun all the time, and it was cool on Friday. It didn't get hot, and then, it's just 2 days of organized chaos. That's basically what it is.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Ben.
What?
I thought you had a question.
Yeah, Don, man, I'm glad to see. I mean, that's like a marathon derby out there, and you definitely came from the right area to be conditioned for a marathon derby like that.
Well, you know what? I'm a mudder. You believe it or not, when it rains and pours like that, I pretty much won every time. I mean, I got a lot of patience.
Yeah.
I'm slow and old.
You must have had a big enough fuel cell or a small enough carburetor. So,
10-gallon tank, filled it till it started rolling over, and I know why push it all the way to the floor. You're not going to get nowhere but sink. I mean, I half throttled it all night basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a pretty nice trophy behind you too, Don.
Yeah, can you guys see him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can see him.
Yeah.
Pitch that thing down a little bit more, even. Pitch that if you can. There's a good look at a couple of the trophies that came home.
Very nice.
Pretty nice, man.
How much beer did you drink out of that?
Tobacco Tools. I got to get them in there. How I got to plug those guys.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Yeah,
I mean, but actually, while we're on it, who will help get the car out there? I mean, you talked about Matco.
Well, basically, really, I just bought the body. The drivetrain belongs to my partner, Brad Wagers and Chad Wagers from Wagers Towing. And then they got a crew guy down there who lives there basically in the back behind the shop named Richard Hagg, who basically put the car together for me because I work for a living. I mean, these kind of shows, if you ain't got dedication 100%, it's tough to even do any good.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys really basically built my car. I bought it and they built it. I ran it. Period. That's it. End of story.
Good deal.
I'm sure being around demolition derbies and having won what you've won in the past, that there's no intimidation factor, but you're toe to toe with one of the top drivers out there in Bobby Whitaker, and arguably one of the hottest drivers right now, fresh off of a team win with Underdogs, teamed up with Brent Clements and Luke Johnson, and now of course I'm blanking.
Monroe.
Daryl Monroe.
Yep.
At Blizzard Bash. You got some studs out there in front of you. On top of the fact you're in cars that have taken an absolute beating with those stock rules.
Well, actually, I went on the offensive there in the heat. I think we had the wildest heat of the night, man. There was a couple of Chryslers running around in heat 7 trying to kill each other. I mean, jeez, well, Pete, I was just trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
great.
I mean, I survived, and I was praying God when I pulled out of there, man. But, a lot of those guys, I don't know none of those guys. I know Monroe from Kentucky. I battled him back in the day when I was younger. But most of those guys are top-notch young guys, and I'm with most of the old guys.
How old are you now? Like 38, 39?
Me?
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm 47 going on 48.
You still look young, man.
No way.
You look way
You
younger.
know what it is? I quit promoting, and I think I put a lot of years on my life by getting out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are you all done? You all done promoting? You're not gonna do that
Well,
anymore?
Smash It bought me out, and I signed a 10-year no compete clause, and I figured I think I got 4 more years on my contract, and if I could keep winning big money derbies, I might save all this money and give it back to them someday. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as the price of wagons doesn't go through the roof.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, I would probably just make it more fair and just say, no suicide Lincolns, no wagons, and let's make it a sedan derby and more stock, and let's let the stuff rip.
Yep.
I mean, that would be me.
Now I like one of the provisions in the rules, and you can get into this a little bit more if you want to. As long as you use the stock equipment, you were pretty much good. So that's why a couple of those wagons had the Mopar rear ends in them. A couple of the Mopar guys that had changed their subframes out would have been okay, I assume, if they would have used the original bolts instead of swapping to a grade 8. And you did some changes on your car, and I was just wondering what it was that you decided to change on yours in order to, and what would make it better.
Poor toast. That's all I can say. He did get no sleep for the first 3 months before the show started.
Right.
Yeah.
I must have texted him 150 times and had kept every one of them. There was a couple questions that we went round and round on. I mean, we built my buddy's car and we put a Chrysler Imperial rear end in it and it fit bolt right up because we could not find a gear anywhere for these wagons. None at all. Nowhere. Everybody said they got one. No one fit. So, and me, back in the old days, I just ran a stock rear end. I never put grease in them back in the day. I didn't even put the back covers back on. You can ask any of the guys around Ohio here, and they know I ran with no covers. You know what I mean? They're tough as nails. But the doghouse issue, I called him, I don't know, texted him and first asked if I could change the core sport because the car I had was rust-free. Came from Texas. Beautiful car. Didn't touch the mounts. I mean, I didn't have to do anything. Springs were perfect. The doghouse suck. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
But this is not a Buick Olds Pontiac style wagon.
There was a '76 Pontiac's what I had.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then we swapped over to the core support was switched over to.
No, wasn't allowed to do that.
Oh,
Couldn't
okay.
change the core support.
Gotcha.
Couldn't do it. Wouldn't bolt up. Had to bolt in direct. What he told me. Got to bolt direct. Couldn't bolt it direct. The only thing would have been holding it would have been the front two body mounts, and I didn't think that was going to fly.
Seems like a bad idea.
From back in the day, I would nothing but Chevys.
Yep.
I wouldn't run Pontiacs, Buicks, or nothing. Had to have the Chevy clip. The clip to me is a frame. Doghouse to me is a doghouse. So you can word it however you want to word it in this part of the area. If you say you're going to clip the car, I would cut it at where it rolls into the straight rail and put a new clip under. I didn't do that. All I did was change the doghouse, and it bolted right up. The 3 top bolts on both sides bolted in, and then I didn't even use all thread. I thought that was a waste of money and a waste of time. I just put some couple bolts down like factory and put it right. Only bolts I lost was the inner fender. I didn't get no inner fender bolts and no bolt down below. And with the weld, 12 inches of weld in the doghouse and 6 inches on the other side, I turned all my plates sideways, and I went 1 inch by 2 inch in 6 places that pretty much covered the whole fender to get it on both sides. So.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it was pretty. They never questioned it to me. It didn't seem like an issue after I asked them if I could put a whole doghouse on, but absolutely not on the core sport. I don't know where that rumor got started.
Gotcha. Well, there's a chance to clear that thing up.
They bolt right up. The Pontiac ones, you use them for a boat anchor out in the lake.
Basically, I went down to Kentucky and bought a whole car for
Yep.
$500 just to get the doghouse.
Yep.
Because every doghouse I went to look at a junkyard was just rotted out. Man.
Right. One of the things that I heard about the Pontiac ones, and you can anybody that can jump in, is that the Chevy core support is straight across the top, whereas the Pontiac has a funny bend to it, so the hood doesn't want to fit as nice. Is that one of the reasons?
It's more square. It's more square. Yeah. There is a few things you can do to a Chevrolet to make it even better, but you got to do that after the heat. I just think they're tough as nails, and you got plastic inner fenders, Oldsmobile, Pontiac bolts up underneath. Buick is okay, but that hood is huge. It's half the car, the front end. And I hate when it can't see. If you can't see, you can't hit, or you can't get out of the way.
True.
Chevys are perfect.
All valid points. Mm-hmm. Well, what's next, Don? From here, where are you going to go? We're going to go see it.
Windshield class, I guess.
Where at?
Well, county fairs start up, and
okay.
We got these new rules where you can't touch the battery, can't touch the gas tank.
Wow.
Got to leave the window in, and you just go get it off the street, turn the key, and go. And anybody can win those derbies. Just it's just something fun at the county fair, and it brings a lot of people back. So because it's just with all these protector this and protector that, it's like rocket ships out there.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, we think it was great storyline, man, to come out and win that show. That was awesome. Congratulations, well deserved. And,
Well, I like to say one thing. If I can go out there and nobody and win and beat all those big names, because at the end of that race, it felt like 5-on-1. I didn't have to hit back because everybody was hitting me. But anybody can do it. And then I think the rules of just if they button them up just a little bit more and make it clear on some things, because I'm telling you what, there's no perfect derbies, but that was pretty dang close. I mean, without the weather being there, hey, the best horse don't always win when it rains.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it definitely turned back times, because it was like going back out there from when the first time I went out there. I mean, it was just it rolled back to past that much, and you're absolutely right. I mean, Don, firsthand as a promoter, there's two things they're always going to bitch about. It's rules and the payout. Yep. You could pay $30,000, and next year they'll be like, "Why didn't you pay $35,000?"
You're never going to make anybody happy.
Nope.
There's no perfect derby.
Nope.
First show I put on, they complained about the toilet paper in the outhouses. I swear to it. You pass teddy bears out to the fans, and a little kid don't get one. They're getting on there cussing you out because their kid didn't get a teddy bear.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, it was a fun time, and I'm hoping to do it again. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. Maybe I'll go back there. I don't know. I like to do one big event a year and just go and try to catch up and meet people. There was a guy I pitted next to, and I don't know if you guys know him. Let me see. Craig Lemminger. You guys know that guy?
We've heard his name. We've seen him run, but I can't remember where.
Number 200. This guy pitted next to me and had the system out of this world. He had a diamond setup for everything. He must have loaned out everything to everybody. I got some wire off of him because I think he's afraid my tent was going to blow over on his new truck. And the story was, he says, "You going to wire that down?" I said, "Sir, I only got 2 10-pound rolls of wire, and we both made it to the feature, and I can't afford any wire to go to the tent because it's got to go on the car for the feature." And he brought me 2 rolls and said, "Here you go." Awesome. Super nice guy.
Awesome.
Yep.
I just want to thank him. I don't know where he's at. I just know he was giving, very giving to every driver, and that's fun to see. Because these big shows, there's a lot of arrogant people walking around.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Yep.
That does happen.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you getting me on here.
Don, awesome. So glad we got the Skype to work so everybody could see those trophies.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
There they are.
It's definitely awesome job, Don. I mean, you could show that the old guys could still do it, and you still got it in you. I mean, I haven't seen you in a long time, and congratulations.
There's the main thing right there. You see that?
There it is.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty nice.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Hey, Don, thanks a lot, man. We'll catch up with you soon, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
See you, Don.
There it goes. Don Long. Awesome. Good
Very
dude to talk to, too.
Very excited.
Oh,
obviously.
he's an awesome dude. I mean, he's an awesome guy. I mean, when I first met him, he talks to you like he's known you forever, and super nice guy. And it's just, there's nothing really. I mean, I'm sure there's, like he said, I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect show, but everybody will find something wrong. But I'm real happy for him. Like I said, and shows the old guys can still do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, man, you ready to go? I also like the fact that we had that suggestion told to us, ask about the front end, get an answer to that.
Absolutely.
Special thanks, by the way, goes out. We had some assistance from Mike Decker and getting Don on. He had the phone numbers for us, and it was we worked together a little bit with Mark Klein and Derby Tees. He was talking about us on his show. We talked about him on ours, and it was awesome to see all the folks that were watching at home that had both screens up. They were watching Mayhem and Tooele at the same time. That was cool. So thanks a lot to all those guys. He took that question head on. So this is what it was, man. There's nothing to hide. And with the rules, as long as you stock equipment, that answered that. Very cool. Shifting gears now. Keystone Nationals are Saturday. I don't know if anybody heard about it.
I've heard some rumors about
Anybody
that.
hear about that? Bo Lockwood joining us here on the hotline for a few minutes. Bo, how's your week been?
Hey, week's been pretty busy so far.
I believe it.
It's been good. I'm telling you what, it's kind of nice to catch up on all the other derbies in the area. I've been a little too busy. I haven't had a chance to catch up on it, and man, a lot went on this weekend. Holy cow!
It was busy, but now we're kicking into. We got about 25 minutes left or so. We're kicking it into basically the fastest 5 minutes of the Keystone Nationals. We're talking to a ton of people. Dave, we're talking to Josh Cuins, we're talking to Cory Roman. Rich Ridinger. But first, we wanted to talk with you and figure out exactly where things are at. Have we still got a gajillion cars and every car in Canada coming down to the Keystone Nationals, or what?
Yeah, the Canadian invasion is absolutely insane still. I got 122 pre-registered cars, so it's looking like a pretty good show. The fairgrounds, we stopped in. The fairgrounds are looking amazing. Rib Festival's still going on. It's all weekend. It's got back-to-back bands all day long, all weekend long, all the ribs you can eat. It's going to be a heck of a derby. I can't wait.
We can't wait either.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
If you remember how rough it was last year for the drivers in the limited world cars when that feature rolled in at the Keystone Nationals last year, just wait. Just wait. This is going to be outstanding.
There's people who can get the shit knocked out of their cars. I mean,
no subtleties.
Literally. I mean, there's going to be bells rung. I mean, these guys, they're not walking around. I mean,
and nobody's getting out of their cars. Bell rung or not, nobody's getting out because there's a sweet payday waiting on the back side of it.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yep.
Awesome. How's in terms of the flow of everything, Bo? You've always got pretty good handle on everything front to back. Your inspection staff all ready to go. I'm sure that Chris has been taking a ton of phone calls as everybody burns the midnight oil to get their cars done.
I'll tell you what, it's actually been pretty good. I was talking to Chris on the phone just a little bit ago, and he was actually relieved. He was basically just giving a shout out to the drivers because, you know, they just got to the point where they understand the rules, they know exactly what they're building, and they really haven't been giving the guys too much trouble. It's nice to see the different names on our roster this year as drivers go. There's some new names that I have only dreamed about gathering in my beginning years of promoting, and it's going to be interesting. I don't even know what to expect. It's going to be pretty crazy, that's for sure.
It's going to be hard to pick a winner. No question about that.
No.
But I think that what you guys have done with the Reckless Warrior Tour, it has upped the ante. You've got bonus points sitting out there for guys making it through tech inspection on the first try, and that is why Mike DeFricia is leading the points right now. Is the way that he got through tech inspection and his placement within the heats and things along those lines. Mm-hmm. So that is up that ante, and now with Mike leading the points, Steve Siopa right there with him, Tiffany Hahn jumping into the top 10 with her performance out there. You've got a lot of these guys that are circulating with only a few points of each other, and that's an important thing to get through on the first try to bank those bonus points because really, although the season goes until September, from here on out, you've only got four more chances to score points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's the biggest thing is like you just said, those bonus points because you know this the limited world class at the Nationals. It's no joke. I mean, making a feature, there's only 20 spots for the feature, and it's not a handout to anybody. Just like we saw at Brookville. I mean, there was a lot of big name drivers that were left out of it, and those bonus points were the only thing that kept them in the top 20. Well, it would be the top 25. Mm-hmm. So you got a lot of drivers that have been calling me and just kind of going over different point scenarios, and it's really neat to see all these drivers that are calling me up and saying, hey, well, if I bring this car, you know, how can I maximize my points? And they're not just looking at the Nationals; they're looking into the whole season. So
right.
These guys are planning their route, which way they're headed for with what class, and just trying to maximize their cars for each show.
They got to do it. And there's talk to Cory Roman and Josh. We're going to be having Josh Cuins, who's going to be on here in a few minutes. Both of those guys, they're not done with their cars. They said they're going to be done, but it's going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, it's I can't wait to see this one. It's going to be a slugfest right into the feature at the Nationals, and the great thing about it, you know, and the one thing that I'd always hoped for, the one goal I had in promoting was to have a show where you just look at every car in the whole class and you say to yourself, wow, I don't know who's going to win it. And that's definitely what we have going on. Every single entry I got has potential to win this show. And not just in the limited well class. I mean, the stock class, too, is no joke. With some of the names in that and the reputation that these drivers that are in that class as well have built, it's got me fired up, that's for sure.
And that stock feature pays the same points as what the Keystone Nationals Limited Weld feature is going to. So if you think that your odds are better running that one-and-done stock division and you get through tech on the first try, you're on par with a guy who passes tech on the first try and places well, even though he picks up heat points as a qualifier. So I mean, it's totally wide open, and the chess match, not simply the Demolition Derby itself, but the chess match of who decides to run in what division is going to be just as much fun to watch as all that stuff plays out. And we're going to be bringing it to you live on Saturday, the whole thing, right there trackside in Greensburg, PA. At this point,
yeah, that's real wild. I mean, the way that points, it's definitely a gamble. I mean, you can go in for some guarantee points, or you can shoot and play the lottery and get some real serious points and come out on top. It's definitely a mix-up. This is working out perfect for a points chase.
There's definitely a lot of guys right there nipping and tucking. That's awesome, man.
But the nice thing is we got I believe there's 67 cars that are right now in contention to be in the top 10 by the end of the Keystone Nationals. So, I mean, 67 different cars, if they play their cards right, they can be in the top 10. And then I believe, I forget what the number was, it was another, I think it was like another 40 that if they play their cards right, that just by showing up at the Nationals, they can possibly be in the top 20.
Wow, that's awesome.
So at this point, there's the potential 84 different drivers or 87 different drivers have the chance of getting into the top 10 that we know of. That doesn't mean that there's a driver out there that could show up out of nowhere that didn't tell anybody about pre-registering. He's just going to come and run at the Keystone Nationals, and if he places well, he or she places well, they also could add their name into that pool of 87 plus.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's very likely to happen because normally about 2 weeks before each show I usually have a slew of drivers that call or text me or whatever and say, hey, we just had a rough time, we're not going to make it, and just trying to look out for me so that way I can fill another spot. And this year, it's going the other way. Drivers aren't calling me and saying, hey, we ain't going to make it. I'm getting drivers that are saying, hey, do you still have spots left because we're coming.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely interesting. It's been a weird little turn of events as far as entries go. So I don't know what to expect as far as how many more cars on top of the pre-registered cars that we got coming.
In the words of Clubber Lang, what you should expect is pain.
Yeah.
That's right. Be ready for pain.
That's awesome.
Bo, man, I appreciate it. We're going to be catching up with Dave Diver here in just a minute from Big Rock, and Josh and Corey and Rich and everybody here in a few minutes. I am so excited to get down there. We'll plan on seeing you there mid-morning on Saturday.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. Always love having you on. We'll see you soon. There goes promoter of the Keystone Nationals Reckless Warrior Tour, Bo Lockwood. Have a quick look at this. We'll be right back. The Wadena Grand Slam returns to the 2015 schedule, booked for the 15th of August at the Wadena County Fairgrounds. Start time is 2 p.m. It's a 4-man full-size team derby along with a 2-man team compact derby. Maximum space for 32 small car teams. 80s Newer Chain Truck will pay $1,200 to win. The top 5 are bringing money home. The 80s Newer Chain division is back, paying $1,200 to win, and the top 5 are being paid. The Power Wheels are on the agenda as well, with 2 groups, age 4 to 6 and ages 7 to 9. Information and registration information is available on www.wecrash.proboards.com under the National Big Money Events. The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts. DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop for all their derby needs. A proud partner of the Reckless Warrior Series and a title sponsor at the Bash for Cash, DerbyParts.com offers products from the top manufacturers in the industry, including fellow Reckless Warriors partners Brian Muir and Big Rock Derby Products, and performance aftermarket standouts MSD, Edelbrock, Schonfeld, and Samson Tires. Inventory includes cradles, ultra belts, sliders, flex plates, pedal kits, mounts, fans, radiators, adapters, tanks, and much, much more. DerbyParts.com truly offers one-stop shopping for builders ready to perform at any level. Go online and check them out from bumper to bumper. You can find it on DerbyParts.com. Slipping in just under the wire. That was close, real close. I didn't think we were going to make the break back here. Joining us here on the hotline, we've got Dave Diver from Big Rock Products, all ready for the Keystone Nationals. Man, you got that motor together yet or what?
Yeah, actually, we picked it up yesterday. We're putting the Extreme and everything on it tonight and putting it in the car tomorrow.
Was there anything else to put on it coming out of your shop? I mean, obviously it's going to have an Extreme, right?
Oh, yeah.
What an advertisement that's going to be when you come home with $10,000, right?
Yeah, well, we hope to.
So Dave, this is your buddy Brian. So this is that Mopar motor with those special stacks you're telling me about at Bash for Cash, right, buddy?
Yeah. Actually, it's a Mopar motor I'm putting in my car.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
There's no way. There's no way.
No, absolutely not.
Dave's getting up there. He's been driving for a while. He probably couldn't handle all the power of a Magnum. I mean, he probably stay back with those Chevys, and
Ben, save us from
everything
this.
will be all right.
Ben, save us.
Yeah. It should be good.
How's the build been going? I mean, you got everything in pretty good shape, given that the show's coming up Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, only thing I got to do is put the shifter in and put my engine in and run it around for a while, and it's ready to go.
Did you catch anything about what Bo was talking about, where there's essentially a known pool of 87 drivers that could break into the top 10 of the Reckless Warriors points right now as it stands, without even knowing or without even factoring in at-large guys that we don't even know that they're going to come and try and run part of that Reckless Warriors tour? Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's just crazy what he's doing. I mean, Bo took it to the next level for sure.
Now, Bo tells me that you're the one that helped take it to the next level. You guys keep passing off credit to each other.
All right, look, Chris took it to the next level. We'll just put it all on him.
Chris Firster?
Yeah, we'll just put it all on Chris.
I'm sure. Good choice.
There you go.
How can you argue?
Yeah.
In terms of the field right now, there's 120 cars that are pre-registered for that show. How tough is it going to be to qualify for that feature?
Oh, it's going to be real hard to qualify. I mean, you better have every nut, bolt, everything checked twice when you go on that track to make sure nothing stupid happens to you if you want to definitely qualify for the feature.
I mean, ranking this show without, I know we're not there yet, but ranking this show in terms of anticipation, where does this thing fall? You've been at some of the biggest shows in the country. I mean, we were hanging out with you at Bash for Cash here just a couple of short weeks back. In your mind, where does this Keystone Nationals event fall in terms of the hype and attention that it's gone?
Oh, it's definitely right there with the Bash. I mean, you're got some of the best drivers in the country coming, and you just don't know who's going to win. And I would say that it's right there. I mean, it's probably one of the top two in the country right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
that's quite the vote of confidence. I know Ben is anxiously looking forward to getting down there and seeing the limited world cars. You've been seeing a lot of stuff here this year, and now you're going to see how much of it has made its way into the Keystone State.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of bummered I'm going to get there a little late, but I got to take care of a little
schoolwork.
Little gotta go study.
Yeah, I got to take care of a little ticket thing, but I'll get there in enough time to. Yeah, I'm real anxious to get down there and see how everything is moving its way this way. Everything's moving east. And I'm
definitely
happy to see that, and I'm just pumped. I mean, I love this style of show, and this type of build. This is my type of build, and it's just. I don't know. I get lost for words, I guess. I mean, I'm
Gonna be wild.
pretty excited.
Dave, are you going to have a booth set up as well, or are you just focusing on the car this weekend?
No, actually, we'll have a booth set up there too.
Awesome.
We'll have everything that we make, there, and you come by and see us. Obviously, I won't be in the booth, but I'll have somebody there that will be able to answer questions and sell parts for me.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I was going to ask Dave, how hard has it been to take a break from building parts to find time to build your car? I mean, I know you were telling us at Bash how busy you guys were, and I mean, how hard has it been to find a sort of happy medium where you can get your parts done and still build the car?
It's hard. I mean, I got a bunch of good friends that are helping me. While I'm welding on extremes and cradles and stuff, they're over there welding on my car. So I got a bunch of friends that's been helping me, and I can't thank them enough to make sure I'm ready for this weekend.
That's awesome.
Brian's insanely jealous just with the implication that you've got more than one welder that was built built after 1954.
Yeah,
It doesn't trip the circuit breaker after
The
5
motor I got
minutes.
built is, in my opinion, I think is the best motor built right now by the guy, that won the Bash 4 or 5 years so far.
Yeah, it's I remember you telling me you're getting a different motor builder to build this year. And that I was pretty impressed with those two motors that run into the end of Bash. So if yours runs like that, you ought to be okay.
Those boys' motors.
Yeah, I think that, my motor should be right there, and it should be fine all year.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
No doubt.
I'm good.
Well, Dave, man, we got a whole sprint. We got 3 more guys that we're going to try and catch here before the end of the show. Appreciate you taking some time out. Can't wait to see you down there, and obviously we wish you the best of luck.
All right, thanks, guys, and I'll see you down there Saturday.
All right, Dave. There goes Dave Diver from Big Rock Products. We got to do 2 more spots here before the end of the show. So it looks like we are going to be going past the 7 o'clock mark, just in case anybody was keeping score at home. But Ben, you talked about showing up late down there, and I'm not picking on you about that stuff. How bad do you want to be down there for that inspection line?
Oh, you guys put you want to put a GPS tracker on me when we go to these shows because it's like, where'd Ben go?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you instantly know. Chris is like, you got to worry about it. He's in the inspection line.
He'll make it back. He knows where we are.
And that's my thing. I mean, anybody that knows me, that's if I had my dream job. I mean, my dream thing would just be in the garage, or I'd be building shit all the time. And in Blizzard Bash, I was in the inspection line in Blizzard Bash for 14 hours the whole time. The whole first day of inspection, I was there the whole time. Yep. I would love to be right there and be right there in the inspection line. That's what I enjoy. That's what I love to do. I love brainstorming on different stuff, bringing different stuff back, different ideas back. That's just my thing,
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking to a couple guys that think a lot like you here in a few minutes. We got Josh Kuhens on the phone, who, by the way, we talked to last week. No one knows that we did.
Sort of.
Because we had that PC completely melt down, but thankfully he was further along on the car and able to break away from the welder for a few minutes tonight. Thanks for making time for us, Josh.
Yeah, no problem.
How is everything going anyway?
Looking good. Yeah, it may be there without paint and some welds still hot, but I should make it.
I think it makes the cars look tougher when they show up unpainted. I like to see that. So go ahead and do that. The hot weld, that's a little different.
I want to touch it.
Away. Yeah, keep the inspectors away. But.
Speaking from experience?
Yeah.
On which side of that coin?
Both.
Josh really wanted to run the orange and black paint scheme that he didn't get to run in full detail back at the Superstock show. Ran down pretty deep in there, and he was certainly a contender. And in the conversation to win, had a great battle with Rich Ridinger, who we're going to be talking to in a few minutes. Now the tide has swung the other way, and we're back into these limited build cars. Josh, do you like building those lighter cars, or do you like this setup that we got for Saturday at the Keystone Nationals?
I think I'm going to like the limited weld stuff a little better. The bone stock apparently fell apart around me.
But you did just fine with it, even though nobody knew that it was you, because I kept saying your name wrong.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm on the fence about which I like better. I mean, the limited weld's a little more work, but the bone stock, I don't know.
Would a $10,000 check help sway your opinion?
Yeah, it definitely would help. That's for sure.
Well, I think it's mainly depends on your driving style.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're used to running, you like to run kind of hard and run limited weld cars. Definitely, when you go to a bone stock, you're going to run out of car.
Yeah.
It way too fast, way sooner than what you want.
I like to think I can adapt. Because I've kind of run all over the board. I've run the Pro Mod stuff, and I run limited weld and whatever. And it was kind of embarrassing to watch the video from the bone stock because I was kind of not running as hard as I usually do. Yeah. But I was uncertain what the car was going to do.
That's tough.
No matter what, you end up getting a flashback, and you think you're in your limited weld car, and you send shit, and it just stuff goes south, and then you just
bad.
You back up and go, why did you just do that? But.
Yeah, I got made fun of because the hardest hit I made all night was on a tire that made Henshaw go flying. So. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But hopefully this thing's a little tougher and I can run a little harder Saturday and put on a show and still end up somewhere up in the money, hopefully.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we talked about in the pre-race shows. The guys who are accustomed to building and running the stock style rules had a little bit of an advantage as the show played out because they were accustomed to what their car was going to do. They knew how long it would last. They knew how hard they could run it, where those limited weld guys that had built down to that stock show that we saw back in May, their cars, they had to be much more cognizant of what they were doing in terms of the hits and their shot selection.
Well, we talked with Mad Mike, and he said he was concerned, coming in about how exactly the Ford would hold up and how it would do. And
The points leader, who
Yeah,
ran
I
a new
mean-
style Ford against what everybody assumed was going to be an old iron build.
yeah, and obviously it held up well. But I mean, he said the same thing. Josh kind of echoed what he said. He wasn't really sure coming in, and but obviously, good drivers and good builders adapt and overcome, and that's these guys are doing.
Adapt and overcome.
Adapt and
That is a recurring theme with the Reckless Warriors Tour as a whole, given the different build levels too. Good word choice there.
Thanks.
Josh, what's left of the car? What's left to do to the car? I mean, I assume at this point that you've got most of the glass out.
Yeah. I just put the finishing touches on the cage. We're going to weld the doors shut, and then from there, it's pretty much everything firewall forward. Just the subtle things firewall forward. The drivetrain's in it.
Nice.
The clip and whatnot. Still got to load a bumper, but that's fairly easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a couple hours worth of welding. But, yeah, we should be okay. We're talking, a friend of mine's here. He's going to run too. He builds with me.
Who's that?
Justin Hartzell.
Okay.
We're hoping we can throw some paint on him Thursday. See what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, take some advice. Bring it unpainted because it looks tougher. You'll get the intimidation factor with it unpainted. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we'll see. See how it rolls. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that nose fight's back being put together, Brian might be right. But remember,
It's kind of funny with a brown car with a blue front clip. It'll just kind of doesn't exactly match.
It'll all go together. After the first couple hits, nobody worries about that anyways.
there's a couple things that the bank doesn't care about. How many cars are in the feature, how hard you drove, and what color it was.
Absolutely. They all cash that check the same way.
Yeah.
My guess it'll be brown after the first heat anyway.
Yeah, there'll probably be some mud getting thrown around.
That's all right.
Yeah, I hope it's not miserable. I ran up at Westmoreland the last show that Tim Jumper put on up there, and it was a mud bog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've run like that.
Still running Mopars and Fords back then, and I got down to third before I smoked the 727.
Oof.
You know
Yep.
when that happens.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not quite as bad Saturday.
Well, I'm hoping everything holds together well for you. Good luck this week. Be safe. Getting the car together. Appreciate you coming back on, and look forward to catching up with you here after the Keystone Nationals.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
All right, have a good one.
We'll be right back after this. We'll be wrapping up the show with Cory Roman and Rich Ridinger. But first, why don't you have a look at this?
Ultimate Derby's Blizzard Bash is back this fall. The hallmark of the Kansas Expo Center's Derby schedule in Topeka, Kansas has been expanded to 4 days this coming November. The event will include something for every fan within Demolition Derby. Inspection opens November 11th with the heat drop party in the Vendors Arena. Action starts November the 12th at 7 p.m. with the National Team Bracket and the Qualifying Team Bracket opening rounds. Action returns Friday, November the 13th with National Bracket and Team Bracket Round 2. The 80s Mod Heats and the 80s Leaf classes are also on the card. Saturday's card includes the 1,000 to win RC Derby planned for 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the vendors area right in the Ski Inc. Pavilion. That's before the full-size cars take the track at 6 o'clock with B features for both the team brackets, the 80s Consi, the stock one and dones for Old Iron, the 80s and the Compacts, the Power Wheels Youth Division, and Pro Mods are also on Saturday's card. Championship Sunday rolls off at noon with Modified Compacts and Old Iron leading the charge. Then Trucks, the 80s feature, and the Qualifying Bracket feature leading to crowning the national championship in the team finale. All the action is available on pay-per-view and is presented in part by Speedway Motors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, in addition to DerbyTees.com, Near It Sliders, Ski Inc., Chambliss Welding, and Ultimate Derby. Don't forget, Ultimate Derby has Capital Carnage right around the corner, April 22nd to 24th, a $30,000 to win event is set for that last weekend of April, right back at the Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. For more information, visit www.blizzardbash.com or www.ultimatederby.com. The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts. DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop. Demo Derby Masters offers a wide array of stock derby parts and accessories that have all been derby tested. Demo Derby Masters also offers custom fabrication, meaning your homespun garage idea can become a finely produced reality. Their team of engineers and Demo Derby drivers have designed, manufactured, and derby tested all parts to ensure quality and durability, even though there's no extreme condition. DemoDerbyMasters.com also carries a full line of helmets, fire suits, gloves, and belts, and Kaiser's own branded oils and fluids. Parts are manufactured, housed, and shipped out of their 140,000 square foot facility located in Coopersville, Michigan. Order online at DemoDerbyMasters.com or contact them by phone at 800-472-2464 or email info@DemoDerbyMasters.com. And we are back. Welcome back to the show, and welcome Cory Roman to the podcast. Man, we're looking forward to seeing you run on Saturday. Cannot wait to see the black and yellow.
Oh, I'm hoping I even make it. I'm having a tough time with it.
What are you talking about? You're having a tough time.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting. A bunch of parts haven't showed up. It's just been fighting me the whole time.
What are you building for this show?
74 Cadillac.
Obviously.
Is there any other?
Obviously, that's what he runs.
And is that thing going to be a banana with the back wheels off the ground again when you're done?
Hopefully not, but probably.
Cory, we were talking in our pre-show in Utah about how you're one of the most consistent builders that we see, and that your cars always look the same before the show and always look the same after the show. I mean, you're very consistent. I mean, obviously a good builder, a good driver, but it's rare to see somebody's cars who, I mean, they look the same way every time. I mean, you definitely do a good job putting those things together.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And he's also one of the most fun drivers to watch that we're going to come across. And on the Reckless Warriors Tour, Cory just puts it to the ground and blasts everything. And the last 2 times we've seen him, he's been in contention for it, and the car was just absolutely annihilated. He won heavy hitter awards at the last Keystone Nationals last year. Now we're going to a new facility with a new date, and I'm expecting some of the same things. Cory's a guy that is due. I mean, we talked about David Day, we talked about Rich Riddinger and Josh as guys that are due for a win at the Keystone Nationals, and pretty much front to back in that limited weld build with the Reckless Warriors Tour. And Cory, man, you're a guy that you've put your time in. You've been knocking on the door. You are due. Is this your year?
I hope that. I'd like to think so. I mean, I've been right up there for years. I mean, last year I took a terrible car there. I mean, I still fared pretty well, and I mean, I'd like to win it. Put my time in. I mean, upgraded everything for this show. I mean, it's a whole new drivetrain, good car. I mean, I'd like to say I can win it, but there's 30, 40 other people there that have the same stuff and same abilities as I do. So I mean, it all comes down to luck.
121 of your closest friends.
Is that how many they have entered?
Yeah, there's 122 cars that are pre-registered for the Keystone Nationals. I believe that is the entire pool of cars. It's not just the limited weld. So I mean, you're still looking at over 100 cars that are going to be registered for your division there in the limited welds. Excited? I mean, is the excitement level high, or is this thing weighing on you a little bit, given how hard the car's been fighting you?
Well, I mean, I'm just getting crunched on time. I mean, I'm starting to get to the point where I almost don't even care to go. Unfortunately, I mean, it's just been one of them builds, you know. Hopefully I get it turned around here this week.
Are you one of those guys that on Wednesday night? You're one of those guys on Wednesday night. If the car's not done, when we see you Saturday, you will have your eyes propped open with toothpicks because you haven't been to bed in 96 hours.
That's probably the way it's going to end up being. Everything's taking 3 times as long as it should, you know.
Ever have one of those?
Probably end up not working from Wednesday on to get the thing done.
Yep, had that happen.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of Saturday, when an entire grandstand's down there in Greensburg is chanting your name, it'll be worth it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
What do you get more pride out of? Winning the heavy hitter, the Mad Dog Award out there with the Reckless Warriors Tour at any one of their shows, or coming away with a feature win at someplace like the Keystone Nationals, which really is the Daytona 500 of the tour?
Yeah, that's a tough choice there. I mean, I don't know. It all depends on the show, you know. I mean, if for some reason it'd be a freak thing where it was only a 20-minute feature or something that wasn't anything real impressive, then you got to go with the Mad Dog. But, I mean, you still say you won the show at the end of it. It's hard to pick Mad Dog over that. I don't know. You know, that's a tough question there.
I don't foresee this thing being a 20-minute feature, though.
No,
either do I.
No.
Absolutely not.
Unless something crazy happens, it's
Yeah.
You know, I'd say you gotta go with the win.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there anybody? We're gonna be catching up with Rich Ringer here in just a few minutes. You guys had a bit of a battle there for a little while at the Brookville Stock Show. Is that are we gonna see version 2 of that coming up this Saturday?
Oh, I like Rich. I
didn't say you didn't like him. That doesn't
until it starts getting down towards the end. I've known him for a while now, and built some good stuff. And I'm sure we'll be battling it out at some point.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it is down inside the top 2 when you guys are going at it, right?
Hey, that'd be great. That would be great.
Corey, I know you got a ton of work to do on the car, and you tipped your hand a little bit of how much you actually do have to go. I don't want to keep you long here. Appreciate you breaking away from the work and hanging out with us here for a few minutes. Wish you the best of luck, and we cannot wait to see you on Saturday.
All right, thanks for having me.
Corey, man, thanks a lot.
See you, man.
There goes Cory Roman, and he does have a long way to go to get that thing done. But Corey is a trooper. He's a guy that will put in all the hours, and that is no joke. That when we see him, he'll be on his 75th can of Red Bull, and he'll be pulling in. The car will be, as you alluded to, it'll be hot welds and burn notices. But sure enough, he'll be there. I'm going to catch up with Rich Ringer. We had a ton of fun watching him earlier this year when we were down there for the Superstock show. I'm going to.
The thing about it is, though, is you can be dead tired, falling asleep on your feet.
Oh,
As soon as you get in that car and pull out on that track,
wide awake and ready to go.
it's like you just slept for 24 hours. You know,
Absolutely.
you're just the adrenaline rush and
Yep.
the excitement, and I mean it's.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, it's pales in comparison at the moment. But, you know, I mean, we went on the track this year for King's Old School. I mean, that was 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd been, you know, dragging a little bit. Man, I got on that track, and it was, you know,
Oh, yeah, you're wide awake.
I was wide awake and ready to go.
Talk amongst yourselves. I got to find a phone number quick.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, either the number that I have is wrong, or I need to double check my handwriting, which I'm going to bet on the latter, because my handwriting is terrible.
Nice.
There
Nice.
he is, right there.
So when's your guys' next show?
I think the next one's Canandaigua, I think.
Oh.
Ontario County,
Nice.
which is the week after Seneca County. So, which I'll be busy with Seneca County.
Oh, yeah? Yes, sir.
And then I'll be busy with that. And then I'll be busy.
Are you guys doing the Malone Morris tour again this year?
Yeah, they cut Malone off. I think they cut a day off of Malone, but they're playing around with the stock heat up there too, like we're doing at Morris during the fair, which has a lot of attraction, but yet has a lot of naysayers and
I like
social
those lighter
media
builds.
bangers. So that's,
Oh, yeah. I like the lighter builds. I think they're good shows.
They've been awesome ones that we've been to this year.
I haven't
Yeah.
been disappointed.
I mean, we did fail to mention Butch Johnson. Speaking of the lighter build, man, he there was no sand left. There was one teeny grain of sand left in that hourglass, and he was able to get that thing. He got the red flag at the perfect time. He was
Yeah.
able to fiddle around whatever he needed to fix under the dash. Got it to refire, made a qualifying hit, and he came away with the stock division win.
Out in Utah.
Out in
Kings of Destruction.
Kings of Destruction in Gumby. Out there driving hard, and he took some
Driving
abuse
hot
in that thing. But he made some good hits.
Yes,
and
he did.
took
He
some.
did. He was driving Utah style, like he
And-
said. They like to circle, but usually I would maybe circle once or twice, not 5 or 6. But Gumby definitely put some shots on. He used his wagon up good, and
Oh, yeah, he did.
you know I got to give him props. I mean, I like busting his balls, but
And I seem to remember Butch Johnson winning. I want to say maybe May Mania
yeah.
last year.
I don't remember.
Or he was on the team with Chris Johnson. No, he wasn't on the team with him. But I remember we had him on deck before. We got Rich Ringer online right now, driver of the black and green Psycho cars. Man, you set to go for Saturday?
Not really.
Well, join the club.
There you go.
You're doing good then.
I'm
Neither
gonna
is
say
anybody
this,
else.
Corey. I think welds are going to be hot, and if it gets painted, it's going to be wet.
It's only Monday, Chris.
Yeah, you're good.
It's only Monday.
It is. It's a great point. It's only Monday. You still have a solid 4 days to get ready for that 10,000 to win show coming up on Saturday. Excited about it? I mean, it seems like everybody, at least in the Northeast, if not halfway across the country, has been talking about the show, and they're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get back in there.
I took Wednesday and Thursday and Friday off of work, so hopefully I can get her slung together. I still got a good bit to do, but.
So here's a guy that plans ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We had Rich on last Monday, and again, it's another one of the forgotten episodes. Episode 88. It will not be documented anywhere. There was absolutely nothing that was going right. After that PC melted down, basically the radioactivity filtered into everything else we tried.
Yeah,
but
that was good.
Had a fun time talking with Rich, and I'm glad you were able to pull yourself away from working on the car a little bit to hang out with us again this week. You had a great run out there at the stock show. Now we're changing gears into the limited weld stuff. How's the build been going leading up to the point where we know that we're not ready?
It hasn't been going too bad besides that. I'm like just the same thing as Roman. I've ordered parts. They're not here yet. A couple that I did get in, they sent me the wrong stuff.
Oh, boy.
Kind of a waiting game now.
Praying for FedEx to show up.
Yeah.
Well, UPS tends to drop
FedEx
stuff.
and UPS guy love me.
UPS will drop your stuff out of an airplane at 10,000 feet, even if you don't ask them to.
Yes, they will. Twice sometimes just to make sure it was good. Yeah, we've seen that in action.
But you got the car at least to a point where it's ready to have bolt-on stuff added to it. Is the driveline in yet?
Yeah, drive line's in. Still got to weld the trunk, load a bumper, get a bumper on it, throw the clip on it, and that's about it.
Yeah, so it's easy stuff.
Yeah,
We're basically dotting i's and crossing t's at this
Nothing
point.
major.
About Thursday night.
Anxious to get this new red line fired up.
Go on.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit last time.
Yeah, haven't got to fire her up yet. She's in there. That was one of the things they sent me wrong was the tranny lines. They didn't have enough bend on them for the Ultra Bell, so I just got them put on. Hopefully get her fired up tonight.
Now, is this what I heard? I don't know if this is true. This is a rumor that I heard, and you can verify the validity of this. That you wrote a message to the crowd on the oil pan of this because you assume the nose is going to be stood up so high after you're done with it.
Well, we'll see. You'll have to see one at the end of Saturday.
Nice. I like that.
What do you think of your odds in terms of walking home with that $10,000 payday? We kind of joked about the fact that you go out there, you run hard, and it's not necessarily about the win; it's about putting on a show.
Sure be nice to cash that $10,000 check.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you guys know what the caliber of drivers it's going to be there.
Yep.
I mean, it's anybody's ball game.
Now, once you get the red line fired up, I mean, do you live somewhere where you can take that out and do a little hot lapping with it and, run it in properly, or?
Oh, yeah. I live out in the sticks.
Nice.
Nice. That'd be echoing. Yeah.
Got lots of mud I can turn.
There you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, hey, if you happen to get the underside of the car a little muddy before inspection, that's just part of the game. I mean, you never know.
What you do at Big Derbies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We see that happen at Bash for Cash. There's always seems to be wagons that come into Bash for Cash where everything is clean except the fender wells and the frame. Other than that, everything else looks clean. It's
Power washer never made
Because they
it.
got stuck in the mud.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's been 90 degrees for a month.
Yeah, that stuff
I've seen a few
happens.
of those.
Yeah.
You ever build any of those?
What's that?
You said you've seen a few of those. You ever build any of those? Any of those that only get muddy from the belt line down?
Maybe.
I used to run mine through the cow pasture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they won't come
Barnyard.
next to you. They won't be. They want to be underneath it if it smells like that.
Yeah. They frown upon that.
Might have to find me some pegs.
There you go.
There you go.
Like to thank all my sponsors and of course the 12 pigs.
Man, the officials are gonna love us giving these guys these
Yeah,
ideas.
this is not gonna.
These
Chris
are,
Firster.
these are not new ideas.
No.
I got taught these ideas when I was like 16 years old from guys at Derby and they were like in their 30s.
Oh, yeah.
So this
Who is that?
Just local guys.
local guys.
Yeah, but there's some pretty. There's some, I remember some of those names from back when I was a kid in the 80s, but still, there were some of those cool names.
You had Jerry Robson, you had Skinny Harris, the Hagedorns.
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
All
I
that.
kind of had. I had it dialed in on the Hagedorns.
The inspection line and the pit line.
I'm doing this for Josh Buell, by the
Used
way.
to be the prankster line. They used to take and hook up hot wires, wet the guy's seat, and hook up hot wires. So when the guy jumped in there, he got shocked. I mean, they used to do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And this is you're talking back in the 70s.
Yeah,
and,
I
you
wasn't
know,
around
and
for those.
80s
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Really
yeah,
is,
yeah, it was the prankster line. Guys drive them. They drive them from Fayette to
Waterloo.
down to the track, and
I've heard some remarkable stories of cars going through town.
And it just.
I don't remember who it was, but Waterloo. This is 80, 81, 82, that a guy made a phone call ahead to Waterloo and had a cop waiting for him at the town line and basically had an escort or the fairground so he didn't get in trouble. And I'm missing a lot of pieces of that story, but I came across that. I came across that story, I think, from
somebody in your family. They're involved.
No, they weren't. No, surprisingly, no. I don't think that story would have made it out because you're not supposed to do that.
The 80s, man, everything was okay then.
Yeah, it was a different world.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, they used to be the prankster time. I mean, a lot of good times, and that's why I'm glad to see these big shows, guys. Guys are serious on a serious note, but guys are busting balls and they're having a good time. And that's what it should be.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you ever have anything like that happen to you, Rich? Pranksters, or you ever do anything like that to people?
No.
Yeah. Little laugh.
I got in a car once after it was it'd been 90 out, and I got in a car and sat down and the seat went squish. So we drove out on the track, and I get on the track and I pull up, and two other guys pull up on the other side of me, and one guy's way on the outside, Mark Benjamin, laughing his butt off. Ben Haas is in the middle, and they're both looking at me like this. And I went, "Who did it?" And Ben just shook his head, continued laughing. Mark says, "I thought you needed to cool off over there, buddy." I don't know how many gallons of water he poured the seat, but it squished.
5.
It squished when I sat down in it.
No.
Yeah,
no
that wasn't good. So sometime I gotta get that straightened out, but I haven't done it yet.
Rich, I can't say that I'm disappointed to have missed those days because, man, that's a little over the top in terms of my opinion. After the Keystone Nationals, what have you got lined up? You planning on running the rest of the Reckless Warriors tour?
Yeah, that's my plans for the year.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You're gonna be.
I was gonna lay back and take it easy this year, and then Bo had to pull the Reckless Warrior tour out, so I kind of put the brakes on taking it easy.
Absolutely. And then since he did that, I mean, you had to buy the new Redline motors so you could, have a better shot at winning the more.
It cost me a lot of money. I hope I win that $10,000.
Pay a lot of bills, won't it?
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna focus on running the rest of the tour. Maybe get a local or 2 show in. That's about it.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, Rich, man, I wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys and seeing 120 cars going through at the Keystone Nationals down there coming up on Saturday. Showtime 7 o'clock. Pre-race show will air live starting at 6:30 on FingerLakes1.tv. We'll have the links up for you tonight so that you can watch the whole entirety of the Keystone Nationals. And Rich, man, if all the cars play right, we'll be talking with you in the post-race show as the winner of the 2015 Keystone Nationals. How nice would that be?
That'd be sweet.
Well, it's hard to we can't say that we have favorites, but we got a bunch of guys that we're watching real close, and we talked about Josh and Corey. We talked. There's so many guys that do over there, and Dave Diver, David Day, another guy
that's
Tag
coming in. The
Troy Tag, yeah. I mean, it's impossible right now.
Canadian Invasion.
Yeah, the guys from Canada.
It's impossible to pick a winner, and we got so many guys that we like and we know and that we want to see do well and that we say that are due, man. And you're one of them. So we wish you the best, and hopefully the cards fall your way.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you for having me on.
You bet. There goes Rich Ridinger. Wish everybody the best of luck as we move towards it. Already coming up on 20 after 7. We're 20 minutes late, but we good show tonight. And I tell you right now, there's so many more guys that I want to talk to leading up to this thing between Troy Tag and the Siopas and wanted to get some thoughts from Wetmore because we all know that he's doing so much of the building. I sent him a quick note and I didn't ever hear back. He's a shy guy. He doesn't.
He's not a fan.
He does.
Corletto.
Yep, Josh Corletto.
Yeah, they like the show. They have no interest in talking on it whatsoever.
We know a few guys like that seem to
I
be
can
fans
relate.
of the show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ben likes the show, but
he doesn't really. That's how he's talking.
We go out live somewhere, and he is not shy about disappearing. He
comes back and tells us all the awesome stuff.
He comes back and tells us all the awesome stuff that we see, and then we say, like, what did you see? He goes, no.
We'll talk about it on the way home.
Sit down and talk about it on here.
Did you see how fast Josh shot me down when I was talking about that one bar thing?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Did you catch that on the live show?
Sport?
No.
Nope. I'll tell you after the show.
The bar behind the seat on the Mopars.
Nope, not that one either. Well, I'll tell you more about it when we get off the show. But boy, that was fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Josh,
his whole face
turns
went,
out,
whoop.
turns out Josh was paying attention.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to. Basically, that was a setup just to see how much how much we could get him to dive over the table. And boy, he went further than I thought.
He's gonna jump on top of it like there's something, a snake on the ground.
Oh,
By the way, we were in the desert. We didn't see a single rattlesnake. Thrilled about it. Thrilled. Didn't.
How about the motorsports complex behind us?
Yeah, the one
they had a
had the road course.
Lucas Oil trucks were running. They had a road course that was paved that they were running cars around. I saw dirt bikes.
Now, I'm not for sure that those Lucas Oil trucks weren't running on a split surface. We're also doing a little bit on the asphalt.
Oh, really?
They've been doing that a little bit more. They had the Lucas Oil trucks on a street course like Formula One, or excuse me, not Formula
IndyCar?
One, but like IndyCar runs on. The whole thing was on one of those here within the last 3 months. So I almost think that they were splitting the surface, but the motorcycles were howling off the hills there.
Yeah. And then they had a road course for cars.
Yep.
They were running. I don't know if it was a school or what it was, but that was running. Then there's about 600 softball fields and baseball fields right at the same place.
And that was it. That was at the Desert Peak Complex.
Yeah.
That was our facility,
Yeah.
and they had more of that stuff over at the Miller Motorsports Park.
Yeah, it was
It
awesome.
sounded like an awesome place.
Our place was enormous. I mean, we didn't scratch the surface on walking around it. We saw the bathrooms, which were the weirdest bathrooms in the world. And to the guy who doesn't know about bathroom etiquette, don't ever stand that close again.
Well, I was talking with a buddy of mine from work who watched the show, and he said, "Man, there was a lot of people there because right before the national anthem, I scanned the crowd. And I said,
How awesome was that pan, by the way?
And the thing is I couldn't go the full 360.
Yeah, it didn't show the people on the
ends.
ends.
There was a bunch over here where the camera was, and there was a bunch on the other side of the stands. I mean,
yeah, there was at least 3 sets of bleachers that we couldn't see.
Yeah, it was full. 8,500, I think I heard for an estimate.
Yeah. And that was probably counting the people in the stands. And the pits had pretty good turnout as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was impressive, very impressive. They are definitely supporters of Demolition Derby in Utah.
And you're going to see all that and more. We're not going to be able to show you the stands quite as easy.
No.
At the Keystone Nationals, because it's going to be sort of behind us. It's a little bit of a different setup than what we're accustomed to, but we're going to be able to make it work. The sound system is going to be outstanding again. Got the same.
Don't blow any speakers.
Pretty much painted the price of price of valor.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be awesome. Cannot wait. So, any final thoughts, reflections on Utah, Keystone Nationals, driving school, anything?
No, actually, I'm pretty curious on my driving school because I'm probably gonna be sitting in there with a bunch of like 18 to 24-year-olds. I'll be the old man in the class probably, but no, I mean, I might as well. You put it in the magazine. I might as well I'll throw it out there.
Good, he's talking about it.
Pretty much. We let the Imperials come back. We're doing Imperial heat and blah 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 blah, and everybody's gonna bring Imperials. Well, it really hasn't been a big turnout.
Nope.
So finally, I've never had a problem. We've run against them for years. I love running Imperials. Is my favorite car, but there's no segregation. They're going to be put in the general population. So guys that run Imperials, you don't have to worry about 2 or 3 other Imperials showing up. You show up with an Imperial, you're going to be put in with the big car heat in a heat. Mm-hmm. So if there's a person out there that says, hey, I got this Imperial, I don't want to take you to the show because I don't know if there's going to be 2 or 3 there. Don't worry about it. Bring it. You're going to run in the heat. You're not going to run in the truck heat. You're going to run with the other cars, in the V8 cars. And the people that are going to cry and whine now and say, well, I don't want to run against Imperials, guess what? They can be beat just like any other car.
Absolutely.
And we had Imperials. A Diplomat won a Derby that was full of Imperials one year. I mean, it's got on YouTube. The guy kicked the shit out of Josh Decker in an Imperial with a Lumina or a compact car. I mean, Imperials are beatable, and I'm pro that. I'm pro letting whatever car run, and let the best man go. So, we're letting them fly, and with everybody. So.
And there are no restrictions. Imperial, period.
Imperial, period. Yeah, there's no less of a build or anything else. You build to the same caliber as the rest of the rules and run them.
Boxcar or subframe?
Boxcar,
End of discussion.
subframe, whatever. It's bring them.
Kick the tires and light the
You can
fires.
run hearses. You can run. There's really no.
Wait, what?
There's really no car restriction. Really, you can run hearses. You can run Imperials. You can run
Checker cabs.
You can run limousines. Whatever. If you want to bring a limo down to Morris, I tell you what, I'd love to see you bring one.
Line up at the end with your driver's door facing in.
Or Canandaigua or whatever. Yep. Like I said, I really I talked to Steve a lot. We talked about it, and I don't want to see any restrictions like that. I mean, if you're able to get a car and run it.
For Brian, hopefully we can find you a cheap Imperial now. Because that would be a ton of fun to go down and run with those guys, right?
Where, Morris?
Yes.
I'm getting old to drive like that.
Canandaigua, I'd love to run to run an Imperial on Canandaigua.
I don't mind the hitting like that. It's the getting hit like that I'm not a fan of.
Just be aggressive and stay moving.
We don't do that.
Coming back to that Imperial thing, I know that in the past that Malone has had a different set of rules slightly. Does this rule apply to Malone? It does not apply.
Malone is a standoff alone event. Total Destruction, they hired us to come up there to do their show. Malone has their own set of rules. They have their stock set of rules. They have rules for Malone itself. This is Total Destruction shows. This is not. It has nothing to do with Franklin County. Franklin County Fair, absolutely not.
It's a subtle change in syntax with the way that Malone works, as they hired Total Destruction to come up and do the Demolition Derby for them, whereas Morris, Spring Fling, which is Total Destruction show on their own, Ontario County, and Otsego County hired Total Destruction to host a Demolition Derby at their fair. Mm-hmm. If you see the subtle differences there, it's still Total Destruction show.
Well, it's Franklin County Fair up there, but it's just that it's a different environment up there. It's
a totally different landscape. Yes. And if you turn them loose with Imperials and starts telling them that they can run hearses, I know some very insane builds up there.
They used to. Jamie St. Mary ran an Imperial. There's a YouTube video of him hitting a hearse up there, headlight to headlight.
Was that at Malone?
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Franklin County Fair. Yeah. Dustins and all them up there would love to hear that, but it's not our call on that. That has to do with the fair and everything else. And
what's the phone number that those guys can call in order to advocate for the Imperials to be allowed?
As far as I know, this is our last year of our contract up there. So if they have us come back, they have us come back. But their track is 370 some feet long, and they use the whole track,
every last bit of it.
And we incorporated a 5-foot class up there last year. In it was Richie Predmore's old car, which before that was Dixon's car.
Yep.
And it was made out of railroad iron,
custom built. Matt Zira had that car?
Matt Zira has it, and Jamie St. Mary, and everybody heard that was coming, and they were scared to come run against it. So
that was a pretty mean car.
Yeah, I mean, it still is.
It's still around.
But
no past tense on that one.
But that's something that they have to deal with up there. I mean, they have to deal with that. If that's what they want, that's what they want. But
So long story short.
Well, up there is more of a stock build atmosphere, I feel.
It is. And Tom Pickering is one of the most fun drivers to watch up there because he will take a Lumina stock build and drive through anything else as fast as that thing will go. When he hit that Oldsmobile last year, the burgundy one, and he twisted it just like somebody grabbed the nose in the back end and did that with it.
Yeah, I mean, we incorporated a rollover contest up there, and that the guys loved it, and they were having a blast with it. And we're going to do it again this year, and it had very, very good a good following coming back for it. So, I mean, like I said, it's a different group of drivers up there, and there's a group that wants the heavy builds. There's a group that wants the stock builds, just like every other place. Some people want stock, some people want more. So you try to find a balance. But what are you gonna do? But no, this is for Ontario County, Otsego County, Morris. That's for our downstate shows.
At this point, there's no fall show yet either, correct?
As far as I know right now, no, there's no small. I've had several people ask me about it, inquire about it. If there's probably a high enough interest level in it, then there possibly will be. I'm not going to go don't quote me on that 100%. Right. I'm not going to say yes, but it usually goes on interest level.
Gotcha.
And falls whatever old Bubby wants to do down there. He was pretty happy the other day. So.
He holds the cards at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's a fiery old man. I love him. He's a good shit.
How about you? Any final thoughts on what we have bore witness to through the course of this evening between Utah on Saturday and the anticipation for Keystone on?
I'm super, super excited about Keystone Nationals. Going to see a lot of our good friends. We haven't seen them in a little while.
So we see Rick Clark again?
My buddy Rick Clark got his shirts from Utah.
Are you going to hang out the window of the caravan just so that he can recognize you more and wave more?
I could do that. Utah, I mean, like Ben touched and we've touched. We'd want Josh. We were coming home on the airplane, and we were talking. The three of us were talking back and forth, and
in between naps.
Yeah, well, they were napping. I was wide awake, but that's a different story. Josh stopped and he kind of sat there for a minute. He goes, "You guys realize we just did a show in Utah?" Because I mean, that's
yeah, you guys suck.
but I mean, like Ben said, we the DVDs that we bought 20 years ago, they were all from Utah. Mm-hmm. And great hard driving, a lot of good Mopars, and that's what we saw. It was an awesome show, awesome to be out there. Glad Ben had a good show. Sounds like Bath was a little interested in Candice Rega was something, but
yeah.
I'm still a little jet lagged. I got tomorrow off. We got to award somebody for our youngest, so I'm going to try to get caught up on some sleep before we pull another all-nighter to go to Keystone. So
it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to it.
A couple programming notes for the Crash Course podcast. Next Monday, there will be no show. I'm going to be out of town, so in terms of artwork deliveries and all the other stuff like that, that's all going to be on hold. I'm going to be out of town until the 4th of July, and then we'll be back after the 4th of July weekend. We'll be back that Monday, and on the 13th, we're also not going to have a podcast. We're going to be off all of that week as well because I got to have that thing carved out of my throat. So I'm not probably going to be in the best of spirits for talking Monday night after we get that thing. They did the CAT scan on it, and they said it's the size of a strawberry.
Really?
Yeah, they said it's perfectly shaved and everything. Like, it's not a strawberry, so get the thing out.
Yeah, good idea.
So that's going to be on the 13th of July, and we'll get all that stuff squared away. So programming note, nothing on the 13th of July, and then coming backwards, nothing next Monday, because we're going to be on assignment. Sounds like Jake Sherman's going to be making the trip down to the Keystone Nationals with us, which is going to be cool. It'll give Brian somebody to drive with when he takes my van back home.
Yeah, that would be a lonely ride coming home alone.
It is quickly upon us. Keystone Nationals, we've been talking about it for months, and everybody looking forward to that. I know I am. Everybody here in the studio. Thanks a lot for all those guys that joined us here tonight. We had a chance to catch up with Don Long, Clay Stuart, Bo Lockwood, Dave Diver. I cannot remember all of them. So, yes, I am going off of the list right here. There, just as proof. I couldn't remember them all. Josh Cuins, Cory Roman, Rich Ringer joining us here on the show. They are all feverishly back under the welding helmet and trying to get their cars done. Appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. It certainly was a fun one, and we're going to do it again here Saturday. Keystone Nationals coming up. Look for the show links. I'll have them up tonight. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Bo Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLinks1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.